Oh, well, howdy, loved ones. Ho Clobber Eyes, and I am here with my good friend. I'm so happy to be talking to you, Kennedy. What's up, Kennedy?
Oh, not much. Just,
Pre-
about to delve into the biggest rabbit holes known to man.
yeah, we're here to discuss like who's the bigger loser, Lauren and Chris Chan.
Or Christine Chan, whichever one you want to
Fu-
describe
yeah, fuck that.
her, him as.
It's always gonna be Chris Chan to me. What do you think? Do you think he? Oops. Do you think he really identifies himself as trans? Like, do you think he?
That's a really big loaded question because if he does, I don't want to take away from the trans identity that he is trying to make or she is trying to make. But if not, I don't want to, either way. I kind of think it's a ploy in a way
That's exactly what I
get
think.
to get sympathy. He seems to have little to no knowledge of Janine and how to go about that and stuff like that in a way.
That's what I
And
think.
he seems very ignorant by the fact that he got his, I'm going to call it the taint pierced and it got infected
Yeah,
and he
the
now
the
calls it his vagina.
the unclit. Yeah,
Yeah, the unclip.
yeah. Oh, we got Project Predator with us. We got Rammies here. We got Donna here. Nice.
Hi, my little preciouses.
Johnny Utah in the motherfucking house. Johnny Utah says he hates Chris Chan's mom. Why do you hate Chris Chan's mom?
Oh, because she's an abusive piece of shit.
Yeah, I guess she kind of is, right? I mean, but like
I mean,
he's abusing the
she
fuck
always.
he's abusing the fuck out of her now though.
I don't know about that. I don't know if Barb's still in her right mind or not, but all the shit that she did to his Chris's from his dad's first marriage, like there are a few talks about like how she would try to starve him and beat him and stuff like that. It's just very awful. I think he moved out at a pretty young age because of it.
So let me ask you: would you consider yourself more of a what's going on, Codfisher? Codfisher in the motherfucking house. Trent's in the motherfucking house. What's up, Trent? Um, would you consider yourself more of a Christorian or are you more of a Lornographer? I'm definitely more
Well,
of
to
a
be,
Lornographer.
well, to be honest, I didn't get into Christorian stuff till about
Huh.
3 months ago, and I've been in lornography now for about a year.
Oh, nice.
You can thank Mr. Gigi for that. I found one of his videos, and because occasionally YouTube decides the right suggestion, and
Right.
to watch the old To Catch a Predator stuff when I was little, and I would just want to watch it back in my 20s now. And we laughing, and I found Andrew's channel
Hmm.
when it was still up and had a lot of videos, and I just kind of binge watched it all for months and months and months.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely a rabbit hole to fall into. Mike Pence is in the motherfucking house.
That's what
My man Heisenberg's in the motherfucking house. Heisenberg.
Heisenberg.
Lawsuit pending, Heisenberg. I heard your last stream. Uh, so when we talk about like
Wait,
who
do we have another lawsuit?
it's gonna be my lawsuit gimmick infringement.
Oh,
No, I'm just kidding. I love Heisenberg. Um, so we're basically talking about like who the biggest loser is of the two, and I don't know. I'm contending that it's Chris, not Chris. It's Lauren by a mile. What do you
I
think?
don't
Like
know.
overall,
Okay, well, overall, you have to think about who has possibly had sex. Chris did have sex, regardless if it was with a lot lizard or not. He did have sex.
that is true.
I'm still not a, I'm still not 100% sure if Lauren has ever had sex with anyone. His anatomy seems to his knowledge of a female anatomy seems to be very lacking for a man of his age.
Yes, yeah, I am of the opinion that Lorne is still a virgin. So let's see, Lorne Donna first came across Chris Chan while there was a surge of documentary type post on Chris Chan. Yeah, it's a shame that like you can't find Geno Samuel's channel got taken down, so they're all gone. Break it down into two categories. Well, I mean that's kind of what we're gonna do. We're gonna kind of break it down. So as far as with the ladies, it's pretty. I think we were going to go to advantage Chan on that. Has Chan had more experience with the ladies?
Yeah, I mean they both have a history of stalking females. I believe that's why Chris was kicked out of college. Was he was making unwanted advances toward the female or females
right.
at his college, and poor Lorne was harassing every poor convenience store clerk from his house to probably the Mason-Dixon line.
Yeah, every clerk, everybody who gave him the old cutie eye, everybody who Lorne came in contact with, he was hitting on and stalking and showing up at uninvited. So a lot of people are voting Lorne by a long shot.
Yeah, Lorne with the ladies, definitely, because at least Chris has gotten laid.
Yes. And as far as being catfished, I don't know like what the what the score is on the catfishing. Lorne has been catfished probably, let's see, 4 times, and then Chris Chan has been catfished at least
400.
Yeah, Chris Chan gets catfished a lot, so it's actually might be a little bit closer than we're thinking.
Yeah, Lorne was probably catfished, or at least attempted to be, a lot more than we know about. Like Amanda James.
Yeah, he had
ever him. I think he just got straight out of his ass as like a reason something so shitty in that moment in time.
Yeah. But like, yeah, Chris Chan's been catfished. He's had, God, fuck, I'm already blanking on there.
He's had that sex with him all posted everywhere.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. And Lorne,
now, as far as notoriety, everyone knows who Christian.
Yeah,
but what were you?
Definitely. Like, well, see, that's the thing. Like, I think Chris Chan's popularity is going to be. He's always going to be more of a popular figure because, I mean, he's still. First of all, he's been around longer. People have known about him longer, and he's still producing videos. He's still doing shit. If Lorne was to get back on YouTube, I mean, I think he could make it closer, but I don't think Lorne is ever going to be able to get back on YouTube. I hope he does. I miss it.
I mean, I don't think he would. I don't know. Maybe if he got another lazy ass PO who just did not give a fuck, because at least this one cares enough to keep him off the internet for his own good.
Okay, Donna has a question. Should we give Chris some slack for having an actual medical problem? And
no, I do not think so at all, because we don't know if Lorne has an actual medical problem. I believe Isaiah focused on the fact that he might have partial fetal alcohol syndrome.
See, I've heard people say that a lot, and if you look at his like younger pictures, you don't see those characteristics. I think what has happened to Lorne is, I think it's just alcoholism that's made him look all fucked up now.
Well, I went to, and I was going to school to be a clinical psychologist. Mm-hmm. And some effects, since your skull is, being set at such a small age, you don't have a fully formed skull till you're older. sometimes partial fetal alcohol syndrome if it's not really bad. Like, you know, your mom was a few months pregnant, didn't realize it, and took a couple of glasses of wine one night, could be the extent of your fetal alcohol syndrome.
Right.
And it's not so bad at that point. Like, it doesn't show until you're fully grown. I would have to see a picture of Lorne as a teenager to tell you yes or no. But since the only ones we have are him as a kid and him now, I can see it going either way.
Well, I've seen his yearbook picture. His yearbook picture is out there. Yeah, I'll have to get that to you. But I have seen his yearbook picture, and he looks fucking normal in his yearbook picture. What's a conscious type person? Clawbbery. That's me, man. Let's see. Johnny says that Lorne's catfishes were longer, while Chris were short term and often occurred simultaneously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Chris was just going after anything that would possibly get him laid. At least Lorne was trying to play the long game.
Well, yeah, I mean,
like get him away.
Chris really he insisted on meeting these girls though. Like he at least tried, man.
Yeah, at least have you seen where they did the Sonichu girls? He would, Chris would at least put himself out there to be catfish in these situations, like on the side, giving them his email address, his phone number, things like that, setting himself up for it.
Yeah. Chris.
Whereas Lorne kind of deserves it too, though.
Oh, Lorne definitely deserves it. I go back and forth on whether Chris deserves it or not. I mean, to say he deserves it, I don't know. I mean, there's no question that both of these guys are pieces of shit. They're both douchebags. Chris Chan is a douchebag, clearly.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
Yeah, I mean, the way he talks to Casey in some of them calls makes me want to... Like, if someone, as a teenager even, if somebody were to talk to me who I was possibly interested in like that, I would have hung up the phone and blocked their number for a few days and then texted them when I decided to, being like, have you decided to behave yourself yet?
Well, but Lorne does the same thing, though.
Yeah, Lorne does the exact same thing, but still,
Lorne's actually worse because you've heard I've never heard a voicemail where Chris Chan has been like fucking abusive like Lorne has.
I don't know. Chris Chan has started drinking apparently in his newer videos.
Well, I'm not saying that Chris Chan's not a dick. I'm just saying that I haven't heard him be abusive to the level that Lorne clearly has.
Well, all Lorne does is scream, multi-syllable scream, and then when somebody finally points out something that, or bullshit that he's done, I don't know if Chris would ever do that, or if he would try to go toe-to-toe with someone who's obviously more intellectual than he is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. I would have to, test that theory for me to see, go toe-to-toe with someone if they were to stand up to him.
Yeah.
Because, they were really told no as children. Like, we know Barb and Chris's father, baby Chris, and I believe that the same thing was done for him.
You're breaking up a little bit there, Precious.
Oh, can you hear me?
Now I can. Mike Pence wants to know who's Chris Chan. Are you serious, Mike? Let's see.
Just go Google Cricky, the CWC wiki.
Yeah. It's there's plenty of information about Chris Chan out there. Donna said Chris would do anything for attention. Let's face it, he stuck his own Sonichu medallion up his ass for attention. No, he didn't. It was part of the Blue Spike saga, and a lot of people were polarized on Blue Spike. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the Blue Spike saga. I think that's where it got a little bit a little too dark for me.
Yeah. Um, I mean, the kid was he he was 12 at the time. He recently emerged on a forum. I believe it was Kiwi Farms for a few days and like profusely apologized for his actions as a child towards Chris. He realized what he did was very wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But basically he something was being held hostage. I don't remember if it was PlayStation Plus account, something to do with video games was being held hostage by
Yeah,
police.
his PlayStation got hacked.
So I
But
don't think it was more for attention. It was more to get his PlayStation Plus account back. I
mm-hmm.
don't think he ever intended for that clip to ever be published.
Yeah, the stuff that like happened to Chris Chan was like really really fucked up. And
Yeah,
I
with the Blue Spike saga. And then he came back out a few months later, though, and did something really awful. I can't remember what it was, though. I
yeah,
don't remember if he made the books or what,
the what?
but it was pretty bad. Do what?
He made the what?
I believe he made 9/11 jokes a few months after that, where he like,
Oh right, he did the Clyde Cash. Yes, he sure did. Yeah, he caught a lot
yeah.
caught a lot of shit for that.
But you know, people are still babying Chris.
Well, I mean,
Like,
yeah,
just,
yeah. I guess
and
Chris
part
has
of
a handler now. Somebody from
yeah,
Kiwi
he has
Farms.
the idea. He has the idea guy has gone missing now,
Mm-hmm.
but the handler, I don't know if he still is in contact with idea guy or not. But for the most part, Chris does whatever Chris wants to do, regardless.
Johnny says, "Imagine if one of Chris Chan's trolls got a hold of Lorne, he'd be shoving a Bud bottle up his ass." Probably.
I would
probably.
pay. I would pay that one.
Trent, yes, I do. That is where I got my my username. His selfishness and obsession over toys put him in those positions. Yeah. Well, I think that's a common thing with the both of them. They're both exceedingly selfish.
Yeah, but Chris's was very learned because Barb is a very selfish woman.
Mm-hmm.
There are instances of people who knew the internet lumberjack, may he rest in peace, who Barb would run up his credit cards buying shit they didn't need, and he would tell her, go take it back, we don't need this. And then she would go basically like manic and like threaten to kill herself and all of this stuff. And Barb and the internet lumberjack himself just did not know how to handle it. And I guess Chris, seeing this from such a young age, learned that if he acted a certain way to his father, he could get whatever he wanted by doing those things. So I don't really know if it was the same way for Lorne, or if his mom, being a single mom at the time, basically just doted on him or babied him, or if he had a grandparent who just basically carried him through most of his life.
Well, we can assume that Lorne did the whole crying thing to his mom to get out of whatever trouble he was in at the time, and he is the runt of the Armstrong litter. So he probably got away with a lot more than his brothers and sisters do. Oh, Nicole's here.
Yeah,
Brandy's here. What's going on, guys? Nicole says, R.I.P. Bob. Moment of silence.
Yeah.
Moment of silence for the internet lumberjack. May he rest in peace. Amen. So we're saying, okay, with the ladies, we're gonna say that Chris has an advantage with the ladies.
Yeah, I mean, he might have gotten a lot lizard, but at least he got fucked.
Yeah, and I think we're both of the opinion that Lorne is a virgin, right?
Yes, he is so just, even still, like I heard one of the Michelle Simpson calls where he was trying to talk dirty, and it was just like, I feel my ovaries slowly drying up and withering away.
Yes, that'll do that.
Like he just did not like he told her that he was gonna like bite her nipple or something hard, and she was like, "Don't bite it off." And I was like, "Ow! Why would you say that?"
Yeah, Lord's a sick fuck.
Yeah, like he just I don't know if he would be the in a community, you know, like if he were to be in any community, he would be in the BDSM community, but he would be the bitch.
Yo, definitely, definitely.
He would be the one who would constantly be getting his ass handed to him.
I wish, I wish Bob would have actually chopped down the internet. Um, Brandy says hello to you, Kennedy.
Hello, Brandy.
Johnny Utah. If Lorne had sex, it wasn't consensual. Probably not. Probably not. Well, look what
No,
look what he tried to do.
If Lauren has ever had sex, it was either she was passed out, he date raped her, or it was rape in general. There was no consensual sex ever with Lauren. He just does not know enough about consensual sex to have ever had consensual sex.
That's exactly my point. He doesn't know enough about female anatomy and just like the act in general to have ever experienced it. That's where I go. That's where I have my position. That's why I think that he's still a virgin. You can see Lorne.
Definitely.
Codfisher can see Lorne going for a dominatrix. Yeah.
We should get him hooked up to Slave to Mistress's dominatrix.
Well, you know, I think, and I've mentioned this in videos before, I think that Lorne and Christine belong together.
You know, again, we need to make this happen.
I know, right?
Like, I really want just a few calls of Christine doing her fake voice to Lorne, just see if he buys it.
So, Brandy asks if I could actually see Lorne raping somebody.
Yeah, I mean, he tried. He tried for over a month to rape a 12-year-old. Like, you know.
So I assume that Brandy, you mean like you're not talking about
Kayla.
No, well, that's what you're talking about. Brandy, you're asking if he would forcibly do it, and I don't know. I don't want to speculate on that. I don't know.
But he has anger issues.
He does.
Anger issues, and add alcohol to that, and there's no telling what he would do.
Right. As far as forcibly doing it, I don't know, but God forbid if you're a female and you fall asleep at his house. Because we have the Lorne call with Ember where he says, you know, if you fall asleep, I'm going to stick my dick in your mouth. So, you know, that's whether, you know, it's forcible or not, that's still rape right there. Would he actually, like, you know, physically, like, you know, like, I don't know. But
he seems to have a fetish almost for it, because what really bothered me in the whole pornography was, do you have woods? Do you have a wooded area around your house? And I don't live very far from Bowling Green, Kentucky or Nashville at all. I am in Mississippi at the top. So I live quite close to both. But here in the South, if you get far enough into the woods in a house, near a house, whatever, you cannot hear anything after a while. Like, it's just so dense that if anybody were to scream or try to call for help, no one would hear them.
Right. Well, was he? I always took the woods thing as saying. I always thought that was more of a thing somewhere he could hide his car so the neighbors didn't see.
I thought of it more of if she, you know, getting her out to the car, if she tried to resist, like if the actual pictures were that girl, you know, she does not, he could have easily forced her into his vehicle without anyone knowing.
I mean, that's
but still in
absolutely true.
debt.
Do we think like Lorne is that shitty of a guy that he would do that though?
She would have fought him tooth and nail, have tried to rape her there and just taken her back to Nashville with him because he thought that he was this, ultimate bad guy genius who could get away with
it. Trent says that Lorne might have had sex in prison. Good point. Lorne's crop circles
are the bit. He was always the bit.
Lorne's crop circles are enough of a violation for me. Yeah. Those crop circles are horrifying. So okay, now let's move on to employment. I think we're going to go advantage Lorne on this one, right?
Well, let me think about it.
Okay, so
Chris hasn't had a job in over I think the cricket is 300 and some odd days now.
It's been longer than that, hasn't it?
Where he hasn't applied for a job.
Oh, since he applied for a job. Well, when was the Wendy's thing? That was probably 8.
Wendy's before the Blue Spike saga, I think.
Nicole's laughing at him.
He did have another job for a little bit. It was at a cut company. They sold knives.
Right.
Door to door. Door to door salesman after that.
Yeah, but how long did he do that? It wasn't very long.
I have no idea. I think he did it. He claims he did it for over 2 years because it was one of those pyramid schemes.
Right. But you think he was working very hard on that? I don't think so.
I don't know. I don't know if he would go to the game place and be like, "Hey, I'm selling knives if you want some," or randomly show up at someone's house. You want some knives?
Yeah, that's exactly what you want. Is Chris Chan showing up to your house with a fucking bunch of knives?
I would immediately shut the door and call the cops.
Exactly.
Let's just figure it
out. We know Lorne has been able to maintain employment. The thing with Lorne is he's always been able to get jobs somehow. Even now, even with him being on the registry, he's always been able to work.
Well, part of it, I believe, is he is a veteran, regardless of his status as a sex offender.
That does help, yeah.
And yes, as a veteran, you get preferential treatment in the hiring process because they always need those hires.
Yeah, one of the few good things you could say about Lorne is he is a veteran.
Yeah, we don't know how long he was in, so when we say veteran, we're not completely sure, but
I want to say
he might have been he had to pass basic at least. We know that.
He did. I want to say he was in for 2
years. To get that status.
I want to say he was in for 2 years. He was in the Air Force for 2 years.
Which we don't know if he actually signed a 12-year contract or a 4-year contract, and he just still, because in the Air Force, or at least now, you can sign on. But if you have a mental evaluation after 2 years and they find you unfit, they will honorably discharge you and send you home. So he could have had a mental evaluation and completely and totally failed it.
Possibly, but I think he was just
he just signed the 2 year.
Yeah, I don't think he had any problems when he was in. Nicole would buy knives from Chris just to hear his sales technique. Yeah, I would too. I don't know if I'd buy them, but I'd definitely hear the sales technique.
Well, I mean, you see my picture. I'm not a very big person.
Mm-hmm.
Christian shows up at my door with some knives. I'm shutting the door.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I am not about to be the first person that he Jeffrey Dahmers.
Right. He claimed an injury playing basketball. Lorne did. Okay, yeah. I don't know, but I could see that. So, Johnny Utah says the trucking industry is desperate for workers. So that's a good point. But I mean,
yeah,
that doesn't mean still, I mean, at least he is like trying to work. You know, Chris Chan obviously. Oh, Winnie's here. Hey, Winnie. Chris Chan not even fucking bothering to work, and I think that's what
Hey,
a lot of people get upset with Chris Chan about is like the fact that he just refuses to work.
and I believe it was the Liquid Chris saga where even he was trying to point out, you know, if functioning member of society, you would have a job. And
Yeah.
I believe that Casey even tried to get him to get a job, and so did her dad, quote unquote.
And that's the thing with the catfishes on both of their parts, like with both Lorne and Chris Chan. I mean, the later catfishes with Chris Chan, they definitely weren't trying to help him at all. But I really think the Liquid Chris thing, I really think that like they in some way were trying to help him, and that's what I think Ramona and Ember were doing with Lorne too.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, Liquid Chris is literally holding her up to Chris and being like, "You were actually Chris. You would be doing."
But in a sense, I think the Ember Ramona stuff is holding a mirror up to Lorne as well. Now they're not doing impressions of him or anything like that. Like they're not claiming to be the real Lorne Armstrong, but they in some ways are still holding a mirror up to him, and they're just giving him like this form. We're seeing the real what Lorne Armstrong is really like through these calls, through these catfishes.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, you know, people, yes, you know, when you hear those calls, you know why Lorne has never been laid a day in his life.
Right.
Because if someone were to talk to me that way, I would just smack them. Like, I hate to say it, but if he were to say anyone were to say half the stuff that Lorne has ever said to anyone in general, to me, I would backhand him. And I hate to say that. I don't condone, you know, abuse at all, but when you sit there and scream at someone till, I believe he was red in the face sometimes when he would scream at Ramona.
Oh yeah. Oh God, yeah. Well, you know, while he was doing those messages, he was pacing back and forth, like red in the face, screaming into the phone at his imaginary girlfriend. That's what I love about those calls. Lorne is like so worked up and screaming at the top of his lungs to essentially an imaginary person. And
what makes me the angriest, sorry, I had a little bit of a donut.
That's okay. Fine.
What makes me the angriest about that whole situation is I'm from a very strong woman family.
Mm-hmm.
Went through 4 divorces because her husbands became abusive to her.
Oh God.
But every single time she would get out of them.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I hear those calls, I come from a very strong family woman, you know, we are very strong women. We do not take shit from anyone ever.
Right. Good for you.
So hearing those calls, I probably either would have like physically like got up and left, and if they would have tried to stop me, may God help your soul. But you have to think Lorne would probably get abusive, whereas Chris would probably eventually just sit down and cry because he could not handle what you were saying.
Right. Oh, Winnie brings up a good point. Lorne being employed is a good thing. No one wants homeless sex offender less ability to monitor. Yeah. Lorne having some time on his hands is the last thing that Lorne needs. Who is Christine?
Needs to have.
Jay Sizer asks, "Who is Christine?"
Sorry.
Well, we're talking about Chris. I think you mean Christine Chandler, right? Chris. I call it Christine interchangeably because I really don't believe that he actually
it's
identifies.
Christine.
I don't think that he identifies as a female. I think either somebody's putting them up to this or this is some kind of ploy.
This is just a lot of people. Either he finally realized, because his parents were older when they had him, Bob and Barbara.
Jay, you're asking who the female who I have with me. This is Kennady Wood. Big time Lornographer, big time what is it? Would you call it Christorian? Yes, Kennedy. Donna says smacking himself in the face. I'm sorry, smacking himself in the face. Dogs cowering in the corner. Yeah, that's what I see that too. LP, I don't know who you referring to. LP, you can't be referring to me. Who you putting in streams for? LP, you know I'll stream with you anytime, precious. But yes, okay, all right. LP is a little bit frustrated. I think I lost Brandy. What's going on, Tom? How are you? So, as far as the work history, I think we definitely have to give it an advantage to. We definitely have to give the advantage to Lorne on that. Chris isn't even fucking trying to work. And again, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen once Barb dies. I hate to think about it, but I mean, is he going to end up in a home? Does he have enough savings? I can't imagine that they do because they're begging for money constantly and selling bullshit on fucking eBay constantly. So yeah, I would, and like I said, Lorne has always been able to find some kind of employment. Now, it's always going to be like shitty jobs for sure because, you know, he's a fucking sex offender. No, I'm not a sex offender. He's a fucking sex offender. You think Barb is a sad old woman who and Chris treats her terribly. That's what I think too. You know what, LP,
I'm back. I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's fine. You're good.
Apparently somebody has hit a cell tower.
Oh shit! Good timing.
Like, how the fuck do you drive into a cell?
Hey,
in Mississippi, I do not know.
Lorne drove into a house in rural Maine. So LP says that she thinks that Barb is a sad old woman and treats Chris terribly, and I agree with her.
Mm-hmm. I believe that Barb just puts on that front of like having the big scared eyes every single time Christine cuts on that camera just to make people feel bad for her. She's a sad old woman who uses her old age now to make people feel bad.
And I'm of the other opinion. I think she has dementia or something. There's something like seriously wrong with her, and like Chris is like keeps trotting her out, and it's. Lawrence Prince has put the link to Chris's new video. You've seen the new video with Barb, right?
I have not.
Oh, you have. I mean, it's basically the same thing. It's you know, hi, my name's Barbara Chandler. Buy things off of eBay, and then Chris in the background going, make sure you tell them to buy the high ticket items. You know, it's the same bullshit. It's another hostage video, as I like to call them.
I don't.
But she looks totally out of it. She looks totally out of it.
I don't think that's Barbara. She is a product of everything she ever did at this point. Like, I hate to say that, but you reap what you sow. And when you treat your children like shit, or one child like shit that could possibly help you, and the other one like a god, and don't discipline them and take care, you know,
right.
Take the opportunity to actually parent that person. And it turns around where the person you treated like a god isn't worth shit, and the other one you treated like crap their entire life, does not want to have anything to do with you. I don't feel sorry for her at all.
So LP wants to know, what did she do to treat him like shit?
There are instances that Chris's older stepbrother has talked about where he was beaten, neglected, and abused. So I can only guess that while he was being treated one way, Chris was being treated like an absolute god on the other end because he was high functioning.
Okay.
Because there are I don't know if they're still on the quickie, but his brother has talked about how Barb treated him
Mm-hmm.
in the past, and it was pretty awful. I'm surprised child services did not get involved with that.
Well, now let me ask you this: do you think it makes sense that she would pay a little bit more attention to Chris, given that Chris is obviously he's high functioning autistic? So don't you think it would make sense that she would pay a little bit more attention to him than he would?
A little bit more attention, yes, but she would leave like bruises on his brother. Like there was the one that he talked about that I read, where Barb beat him on his bottom till he was literally bleeding, and that there were bruises and blisters
But
all across his back and bottom.
and these aren't like police reports or anything. These are his accounts, right? This is
like his account.
Okay, so we don't
Correct.
we don't know for 100% if that's accurate. You know, we don't know what's accurate.
But knowing Barb, knowing how Barb would go manic sometimes when she would not get what she wanted, I would not.
And the other thing I'd have to ask is the person that is, you know, speaking as Chris Chan's half brother. Do we actually know that it actually is Chris Chan's half brother?
Yes, we do. He actually tags him on Twitter, and he makes a few movie reviews, and he spoke out a few times about it in interviews. I'll have to look them up and find them because they're scattered. But we know it's him because he tags his brother, and then he has his stuff, which has the same name on it, at the house. So it's all, you know.
I mean, I've seen all that
Cole
stuff.
Smith, that's his name. Yeah, Cole Smithy.
Yeah,
Cole Smithy is his half-brother.
I've seen all that stuff, but again, I don't know if I can't verify that it's actually him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it'd probably take time, but more than likely, the accounts that were on there were probably pretty true, because knowing Barb and how the accounts of her literally throwing fits in stores and stuff, like this was like when Christery was not even a thing, and people would post like those random stories of, like FML websites and stuff for retail workers. There are stories where you can kind of probably say that, yeah, that was probably Barb Chandler because of the way that they acted.
So Donna says we saw on a video how they were with Chris. They didn't stop him from making a fool of himself. And, I definitely blame his parents for a lot of what's happened to Chris Chan.
When you refuse to raise your child because you're afraid, not of them, but of their diagnosis, you fail as a parent. I've always said that to an extent. My mother's always said that, who's a special education teacher. And, when you sit there and you refuse to parent a child because you're scared of their diagnosis and you don't, you're going to react. You still don't need to stop parenting. And I believe that they just kind of stopped parenting.
And with me, I think the biggest problem was if I had a kid who was getting, was doing the kind of shit that Chris Chan did on video, I wouldn't let him anywhere near the internet. They should have monitored their internet. So in a way, all this shit could have been avoided. All this, but then again, would he want that? Does he like this attention? It's really fucking weird. And then with Lorne, I mean, obviously Lorne loves attention. I think we could both agree on that. I mean, that was the whole basis of the I mean, he started a fucking YouTube channel, for God's sakes. So, as far as attention goes, these are both guys who really, really love attention. And they don't really care if it's good attention or bad attention.
Mm-hmm. They're both the young internet would have called attention whores.
Definitely. But
like, just the fact that both of them decided to sell shit on eBay with their signature on it because they are internet famous, according to them, is baffling to me.
I'm gonna start selling shit off the. I'm gonna start signing shit and putting it on eBay.
I'm gonna, after this airs, I'm gonna like go find a pair of shorts and sign my name to them and put them on eBay for $100.
Yeah, I have an old guitar laying around. I'll sign it and sell it for $1,000. So, Donna, yeah, Bob held him back from getting. I'm not saying like Chris's parents were shitty. I'm not saying that they weren't, and because of the way that because of the way they raised him, he's never gonna be able to find a job.
There are people to help him.
But
there are companies and nonprofits that are specifically for people with autism to go work at and get paid.
Oh shit, I already just sold my guitar to Deborah. Hey Deborah. That was quick. I'm more successful than Lorne. Trent's playing.
Hey Deborah, you want a pair of shorts?
Yeah, Kennedy's selling a pair of shorts. Trent's listening to this while he's playing Madden. Nice.
I've thought about football, but when? I guess.
Let's see. So I mean, both of those guys though. Here's another thing that they have in common though. Both of them are looking for the easy way out. Neither one of them want to work. I think Lorne has enough wherewithal to know that he has to work. But both of them would rather, Deborah says to make sure that you wear it for 2 or 3 days straight.
I will, babe, just for you.
I'm being honest. Both of those, neither one of those guys want to work. Lorne knows he has to work. He decided that eBay and YouTube are not going to pay the bills. Chris still hasn't come across that realization. Unfortunately. And maybe one day he will. But do you think Chris will ever get a job? Oop, you're breaking up, Precious.
He were to swallow his pride. Do what?
You were breaking up.
Can you hear me?
Your phone was cutting out on you a little bit.
You hear me? You hear?
Yeah, you're still cutting out a little bit, Precious. So I'll just.
Oh, sorry.
You're good.
Hang on, give me 1 minute.
Okay.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep. Go ahead.
But on the point of parents, I would have to give that one to Lorne because at least his mom taught him the value of working just a little bit more than Chris's did. I mean, at least he knows he has to hold down a job or he'll starve to death.
Yeah, I would say that Lorne probably. I would say I would give the advantage to Mama Gwen over Bob and Barb too.
But see, Bob was a inventor of sorts. He had like a few good patents.
Oh yeah. Do you think they still have money from that? Because I mean, like he has patents on stuff that like is still being used. I mean, like big shit.
I don't know if they ever got money from it or not. I don't know if he patented it.
I would think they would have to. If he had a patent on this stuff and it was used, he would still be getting, revenue from that.
Yeah. But like I know another YouTuber, his grandfather created the machine, the sticker things that read your pulse and blood pressure and stuff like that at the hospital.
Uh-huh.
He created those, but he chose to patent it but not charge for or as much for them as he could have, because it was to save the world. So I don't know if Bob did that where he just wanted his name on it, so he just never like patented it out to charge for it and just put his name on the patent itself.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's hard to believe that like they still, they still are desperate for money. If he had these patents and he was getting a sizable income, it would still be going to his next of kin.
Mm-hmm.
So Barb would still be getting it.
It could be levied by now, though, because of all their debts and stuff. The government could have seized the amount of money to pay back some debts, because they can do that.
Possibly, yeah, probably.
So, and sometimes when a patenter passes, the money does not go to the next of kin. I don't know why. Some states are different.
Mm-hmm. Johnny made a good point. Lorne has to have a job as part of his RSO status.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But I mean, even if he didn't have the RSO status, even if that wasn't part of his status, I think he would still try to get a job.
I mean, I don't know about that one, because he goes through 2 or 3 jobs when he's talking to Kayla.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he was kind of kicking around in Nashville when he was there, and then there's no. He says there's no. Wait, Johnny, are you talking about there's no mortgage on Lorne or on Chris Chan? Because they keep talking about the mortgage. I thought they had like 2 mortgages.
Barbara did a reverse mortgage a few years ago, and they're having to pay it back.
Right. I think they got a really fucking high mortgage from what I understand. They're like paying like a ridiculous like interest rate.
Yeah, they had. Yeah, because it was fire damaged, and so they had to reverse mortgage to rebuild the inside. And so now the mortgage is even higher because it was fire damaged and they had to rebuild the inside.
Right. And like
they would have been better off just selling the house after that, honestly.
Yeah, yeah. And Chris is like the one person, like their house catches on fire and the horde is actually worse afterwards. I don't know how the fuck they did that.
But because they took most of the horde and piled it back in and then bought new stuff that was damaged in the horde or by the fire from the horde the first time.
So, well, that brings us to another category, the living situation. So, I think we would have to go advantage Lorne here on this one too, right? Because Lorne at least lives on his own.
Are you talking like the cleanliness of their house or like living status? Because we're not quite sure if Lorne does live on his own, because there was Terry on the white pages with him, and I believe Terry's his friend in the wheelchair.
Mm-hmm. I don't. From what I understand, that Lorne actually does live alone.
Okay.
And
or maybe his brother sleeps on the couch or something, because they have talked about
in the shed. I think his maybe Roy lives in the shed. What's up, Shin? So about as far as a horde though, you've seen the Lorne, the Cornville video, right? I assume.
Yes, I've seen all but the newest one.
Okay. It's pretty fucked up. But it's nowhere near as bad as the fucking horde is.
But the horde is outside at Lawrence. The horde is inside at Chris's.
Yeah, well, that is true. Yeah, the so you're saying that the horde is worse for Chris, right?
Yes, but Lawrence's horde is outside and it's god awful too. Like, that's basically a tie because I don't. You can smell Lauren's house, but you can also almost smell Chris's house.
Well,
like,
what you've obviously seen the Chris Chan house tour, right?
yeah, both of them.
Yeah, I think I got hepatitis just from watching it.
I had to go to my local free clinic and just get every shot known to man after watching that. Just load them up.
Yeah, you really do, man. It was fucking bad. Katie, Kev in the house. What's
Yeah.
going on, Kev?
But at Lauren's, you can like see the roaches crawling on the wall almost.
Ugh, God, those things fucking creep me out, man. Trent asked me if I'm a Cubs fan. Fuck no, Trent. I am not a Cubs fan. I hate the fucking Cubs. I'm a South Side Chicago guy.
I'm a Twins fan, but that's only because one of the guys that I went to school with plays for the Twins now.
Oh, nice. I don't know.
Well, I didn't go to school with him, but we were in the same school.
No, I don't even watch baseball. Yeah, Trent's a Cardinals fan. Yeah, I'm a Cardinals fan when they're playing the Cubs. I'll tell you that. Let's see, Lorne. Shin says that Lorne doesn't have anything to hoard. So if Lorne actually had more possessions, Lorne would be living in a hoard too.
Well, I mean, his house is pretty fucked at the moment right now because I don't know if it's his brother's stuff or if his uncle left most of his stuff there when he passed or what, but it's pretty bad right now too.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that they both don't live in fucking disgusting ways, but
it's just like, baby, bleach is cheap, so are garbage bags.
Yeah, but yeah, I would say Chris definitely has the advantage here. Wait,
Chris.
Deborah's offended. What are you offended by, Chris? I'm personally offended he chose to wear a Sox hat. So you a Yankees fan, Deborah? Is that what you're saying? Lorne hoards junk. Well, Lorne hoards junk, but then he tries to sell all the shit. So at least he's trying to sell it. I guess Chris is trying to sell it too. But.
Chris is too. Yeah, Chris is trying to sell most of the hoard off now too. I think Barbara's early onset dementia because of the way Chris is actually getting to sell shit now, and we're not seeing.
What is he really selling though? I mean, he's selling like photographs and like Legos and shit. So it's really
yeah, and he's also selling some of his brother's stuff, and I believe he sold something of Barb's too. So we are at least, I believe that if she is early onset, it's early, or if she is just early onset and she's not remembering what he's already sold. Because we're not hearing or seeing Barb blow up like she used to when Bob would try to get rid of stuff.
Right. Yeah. Definitely. Well, and I mean that might be a function of the dementia too. I mean, who knows? Shin asks if my guest has ever been to Lawrence. No, Shin. We saw we're referring to the Lorne Cornville video where you see Lorne. Lorne lives in a fucking junkyard, basically.
I can only imagine if he claims that his last place was a shithole, how bad it was.
Oh, God. Oh, well, I can imagine that place in Bowling Green. See, and that's the thing is, like, he didn't have enough shit to even have a hoard. In Bowling Green, he slept at, all he had was fucking his, like, computer and not much else, really.
The apartments in Nashville that he lived in, I believe, they ended up getting torn down not too long after the scene because of people playing them.
It better never get torn down. That place better never. That's what we were just discussing, Rowdy. You're breaking up again, Precious.
2000s.
Your phone's cutting out on you a little bit. That's what we were just discussing, Rowdy.
Yeah.
On the Google satellite from 2016. I don't know. I'm not sure what you mean, Shin. I'm referring to like the recent Lorne calls or the Lorne videos. If you Google or if you do a YouTube search of Lorne Cornville, you'll see.
Hey, Claude, can you hear me now?
I hear you perfectly. Yeah.
Awesome. No, I believe that the ones that he lived in did get torn down, but they just got rebuilt.
Okay.
In Nashville.
I'll tell you, they better never tear down the house in Bowling Green. That's a historical.
Oh, no.
That's a historical landmark.
Oh, no, it's still there. There was a person who drove, I think it was Don Howard's Power when he was still uploading.
Mm-hmm.
He drove out there and left a note for Kayla as Lorne.
Nice.
And it is priceless. If I can find it, I will send it to you.
Okay, yeah, I gotta see
because
that.
like
it's on his channel.
Because
I'm subscribed to him, so I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, I think so. But if it's not him, it might be another TCAPper. But him and another person who they found out that they were like TCAP fans too, drove out to the site because they were in Kentucky already.
Mm-hmm.
And drove to the place and left a note for Kayla as Lorne, and the house is still there. They hired some like European remodelers because there's not just two chairs sitting in the front room anymore.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Cedar's apartment closed in 2016. Reviews are still online. So you were saying that like they closed it.
I think that they tore them down and then rebuilt them because either they were being squatted in and they had gotten in pretty poor condition or new management or something. They might have just gutted them.
I don't know if they realize the historical significance of they're basically tearing down a place of worship for all of us.
I mean, I'm not 100% sure because we don't know his exact address, but during that time, a lot of the older apartments were torn down because they were built with asbestos and stuff like that, so they had to be gutted and redone.
But
you can walk into Nashville almost even today and just kind of wonder why Lorne thought he was actually going to make it.
Because he's delusional, which is another...
who's the biggest delusional?
Yeah, who's more delusional?
Yep, sorry. Who has the most delusions out of both of them?
That one's a very close call. What do you think?
Oh, it's going to be about 50-50. I think that Chris's delusions is that someone's going to love him enough to be able to put a baby in them.
Mm-hmm. Well, Lorne has those same delusions, though.
But Lorne also wanted to be a country music singer in Nashville, Tennessee, with barely any hair, no good looks, and no talent, besides singing one song kind of okay.
Right. Yeah. If it's me, what's going on, Victor? If it's me, I'm giving the advantage to Lauren Armstrong as being more delusional than Chris Chan, and Chris Chan is delusional as fuck too. But I
mean, when you think about Lorne didn't even want Kayla's father in the room when she gave birth, possibly because he would have realized that she was being abused, and he would have taken Lorne's ass outside and whooped his tail in front of God and everybody at the hospital.
Right.
It happens. But I mean, Lorne's delusions run very far. Chris is kind of not really.
Right.
They're
Yeah.
here and there.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're talking old school, new school, he has a lot more delusions. He thinks that Sonichu and Rosa Chu love him and they're in a relationship together.
Well, okay. Have you seen the video? He just put out a video. Maybe it was a week ago where he's like rattling on about like My Little Pony, and he's talked to the ponies, and I don't know where the fuck he was going with that, but
yeah, he did an interview with someone about how he could move from Equestria to Quickville and then back home by like astral projection almost. And how they were all in like West Virginia.
Bake Salmon says Clawbcast while the sun's still up. Now I've seen everything. Yeah, I'm mixing it up, man. I'm mixing it up.
He had to get me on while I was still awake.
That's right. That's right. That's the only time I could have got this precious little princess on. Chris is the stone cold of getting trolled, and Lorne is the rock of getting trolled. That's a very good. That's a very good analogy.
And also, there was one video where Chris got upset because South Park made fun of people with red hair. Now, as you can obviously tell, I'm mostly redheaded.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that entire episode fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, personally. And then he's sitting there trying to talk with redheads, and he says, "We redheads." And I was like, he has where? I think it's like dishwater blonde or brown.
Right. Yeah, I never saw it. I never Shin saying it was the Gingers episode.
Yeah.
Trent asks what I would do if I met Lorne. Oh man, I don't know. I'd be starstruck. I don't know what I would do.
I know what I would do. I would like make him admit that he did mean to do it.
How'd you do that?
Oh God, I don't know. I would have to use my female powers.
See, you have the advantage of having female powers. I don't have that advantage.
Just get me on the phone, FaceTime me with him.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd be trembling
We'd
in the presence of
Claude. The whole thing.
Yeah, I'd be trembling in the presence of Claude.
He is. I mean, he's so out of shape now. Like, at least when he was putting out videos, but he was working out with a shake weight.
Yeah, if you want to call it that. Yep.
Yeah, we want to call it that.
Who do you think had better workout videos, Chris Chan or Lorne?
Oh, because Chris's were like lifting 12 packs.
Yeah.
Curls. And Lawrence is basically jacking off an inanimate object.
Basically, right. They were both ridiculous. Well, there were points where Lorne was actually doing actual like physical exercises.
Yeah, I whose would be better in the long run.
Yeah, I would say probably. Well, I mean, look at the shape that Chris Chan. I mean, obviously Lorne isn't in great shape himself, but I would think that Lorne's in a lot better shape than Chris Chan is for sure. So.
More recently, Lorne looks a lot more out of shape. He does,
but he looks like 50 now.
He looks a lot more out of shape though, and I mean, I know 50-year-olds who exercise, and I mean, they do drink, but they exercise and eat right for the most part, who look a lot better than Lorne.
Yeah, Lorne's still pretty swole though.
I don't know if it's swole or just fat.
Well, he could. Well, I was gonna say he could have been bulking, but it's not the winter anymore.
Yeah, bloat max. He could be trying to bloat max.
Hey, maybe he's going for the bloat max thing. He's got muscle.
Oh gosh, Grizzly Jr. is gonna come after him soon. Then.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's the last thing. That's trouble. Lorne,
You see where Grizzly G came after Shaman?
I did see that. Yeah.
But what were you gonna say?
I was actually reading. Codfisher says that, and I don't know if you realize this, but Lorne's got more fucking stamina than you'll ever fucking realize.
I don't know about that. He claims he can drink a whole lot too, but I'm guessing he's like half a pack in and already white boy wasted.
I think he could drink a lot of Bud Light. He could probably knock down a shitload of Bud Light, but I think when it comes to like actual drinking or any other kind of beer, he probably can't hang.
Yeah, Bud Light's pretty shit with alcohol content.
It is. That is very true. Which is probably why he gets headaches or gets all fucked up when he tries drinking something else.
Yeah, but his stamina would probably be next to nothing. He was getting winded in the exercise video, at least.
Well, I remember Lorne actually, I think the very first time Lorne blocked me on one of his videos was it was the Roscoe on a treadmill video.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote at least somebody's using the treadmill.
So who do you think's the better pet owner? That brings us to a different point now. Chris Chan or Lorne?
Honestly, I keep forgetting that Chris Chan has cats, right?
He does. He has a cat, and he has cats, and he apparently has a dog, or had a dog. I know he had a dog at one point in time, but he's talked about a dog recently too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm of the opinion. Well, I mean, we've seen that fucking Lorne. Lorne has admitted he has. There's a call somewhere. I don't know where it is, but he has
where he beat the dog,
where he hit Roscoe, and that's what caused Sadie to run away.
Yeah, which I mean, but one of Chris Chan's cats passed away because Chris was not taking care of her, and then one passed away because of the fire.
Clearly, neither one of those two maniacs should have pets.
Oh, definitely not. Like, I have one cat, and he is very spoiled. His name is Maggie. We didn't know what he was when he was little because he was so tiny. He was like an ounce when we found him. So we couldn't sex him because he was so tiny.
Yeah.
So we named him Maggie because he looked like a fluff ball. He looked like Minerva McGonagall shrunk. So we called him Maggie.
Nice.
And, I could not imagine making my house so bad to the point where if the house caught on fire, he could not get out. Like, that's some piss poor animal care right there.
So do you think the Horde is more of a Barb thing, though, or is that more of a Chris thing? Because if you look in Chris's room, it's fairly organized. It doesn't look like the Horde is extended to his room.
I still think that Barb still has the control over the Horde because it's been that way for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, even Bob, when he would get calls and stuff, he loved to talk to people, and he would tell people, I don't have anything to do with that mess, meaning the Horde.
Right.
So it's still Barb. It's all Barb still. I think that if Chris Chan were to put her in a home and get her the actual help she needs, he would probably clean it out.
I kind of think that too. I mean, he'd have fucking Legos and fucking comic books and shit everywhere, but at least it would be somewhat organized, I think.
Mm-hmm. I mean, for the most part, it would be an organized chaos.
Yes.
But still and yet, he's a grown-ass man. He needs to put his foot down and make a living situation for his ailing mother a lot better.
Mm-hmm. So Shin says those poor dogs probably get the brunt of Lorne's anger and abuse when he's upset with Ramona.
Yeah, I've seriously contemplated calling animal control because their living situation is just so shit. Like, they would be much better off in a pound somewhere where they could actually get a home than with Lorne. Because we don't know how often he feeds them. He probably puts beer and cigarettes before anything else, including animal food.
I would think so, yeah. I've always been...
We don't know.
Go ahead.
We know that he's very abusive towards his animals, so I've contemplated it a few times.
Yeah, Lorne is definitely neither one of these two have any business having pets. Lorne, I've always saw Lorne with the dogs. I've always saw that as more of a prop. You know, it was look at my dogs. Yeah, I'm a good guy. I have dogs.
And even it's a grooming technique, and on his bankruptcy papers, he listed both of his animals, his two dogs.
Right.
And he put them as value of 0. Now, I don't know how bankruptcy works. I'm only in my 20s. But if I were to claim Maggie on a bankruptcy, I would at least equal out how much food I have to feed, how much money I put towards his food every day.
Yeah, you would
or every week. Yeah. Like, I would at least put that value of a small bag of cat food.
Yeah, as part of his like living expenses.
That.
So, Shin asks if do you think Lorne has ever experimented with his dogs? I think there's been some peanut butter parties.
The look on Sadie's face when he sticks that biscuit in her face says it all.
Yeah. I think there's been some peanut butter parties over at the Armstrong household.
Yeah, and what really bothers me is he lists all of his household items, but nowhere on the list is there dog food. Anywhere on the list. Right.
Yeah, and he lists things such as like fucking dish soap and shampoo and shit.
Mm-hmm. But there's no dog food anywhere on the list.
No.
Now, granted, he might even be the kind of person to feed his animals scraps, but still, I would have listed out like some form of food for my animals that I'm paying, like treats or something. Right. He could be feeding them table scraps, but still, I would have listed that out somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, he should have put that as part of his like monthly expenses. And to my knowledge,
yeah, like didn't. I have a friend who feeds, or a family member who feeds her animals a half a can of pumpkin, boiled rice, and boiled chicken every night. Mm-hmm. But if she were to file bankruptcy, she would at least put out the expenses for those foods somewhere, I would think.
Yeah, I think a normal person would do that.
Yeah.
Johnny Utah asked Oh, go ahead. Oop, you're breaking up, Precious.
There's nothing for the animals.
So
I said that's what really bothered me was absolute. Continue.
So Johnny asked if do you think Lorne and D-Mac ever experimented with each other?
D-Mac was put in solitary, I believe. He would have had to have been.
Well, I know they had some interactions with each other while they were inside. I don't know how much they interacted with each other. Like Lorne basically was friends with with Detective Patterson. I'm just being honest.
Yeah, but I know D-Mac was put in solitary because of his disability.
Not solitary. You talk about like he was in like a medical wing of the.
Yeah, medical wing. He would have had to have been put somewhere. If they would have given him a cane, they would have had to put him in solitary because he would not have been allowed around with a disability, with a cane, being a registered sex offender.
Well,
even in a hospital wing, because he was a sex offender with walker or a cane
Well, he
that
didn't.
could be used as
I
a
don't think.
weapon.
I don't think he didn't have the cane in prison. I think Lauren has mentioned it. That actually Lauren has pushed him around. He was actually in a wheelchair when he was in prison. DMAC was.
Uh, in that case, he possibly could have been in a little medical wing or something. I don't know if that what kind of wheelchairs they use, if they're all plastic or all metal at that facility. My grandfather was a cop, so usually if you have someone in a wheelchair, they still have to be put either on watch or in a certain wing because normal people who find out that those are sexual predators, they would end up killing them with
Yeah.
a wheelchair or something. With like the thing that they use, like it's people usually don't take very well to child predators in
No, not no,
prison at all.
not in prison. That's for sure. Do you think Dustin and Lauren would have been good friends?
I think that
They could have
I
been.
think that it was yeah, it gave something for it had Lauren it gave something Lauren to brag about in prison because he used a pseudonym or he used a different name in prison so people wouldn't figure out that he was a sexual predator, which is stupid because he used the last name Armstrong still, but
Yeah, I would like to. I would like to think that. I mean, they were both in the Green Squad together, so they had that in common.
I mean they probably talked they might have been in the same cell after getting booked that night for the night till they see a judge the next morning or what have you.
Hmm. Yeah, they definitely did have some kind of interaction while they were locked up. But again, uh, Lauren keeps.
It might have given something for Lauren to brag about to his friends in prison and afterwards like, oh, I helped this cripple out today.
Yeah. Oh, I could definitely see Lauren doing that. Lauren mainly talked about Detective Patterson, and he talked about what's fucking Lurch's real name. I can't remember Lurch's real name, but
God.
how he was basically just comatose the whole time he was in there. And they both wear Bluetooth headsets. Good point, Johnny.
They they would have had to have comatose Lurch for his entire stay. I hate to say it, but if Lurch would have been like actually alert for most of his stuff, he probably would have killed someone. Lurch just has that look about him.
Yeah, Lurch is a creepy fuck.
Him, like
Travis Fowler.
him,
That's his name. Travis Fowler was his name.
yeah, him
Thank you, Cloudfisher.
lurching, him just grabbing for Kayla scares the shit out of me. Like, good God.
Oh, I know. He walked up to her in like full fucking Frankenstein mode.
Like, and I think he tried to grab for her.
Yeah, he did. He lunged. He started walking over towards her like fucking like Frankenstein, just missing fucking bolts in his neck.
Like, it was like he would have probably killed someone if he would have been fully aware of his surroundings, because he would have gotten angry over something his bunkmate might have said and just snapped and killed him. He's like Lenny from Of Mice and Men.
Yeah,
He
Travis
just
Fowler. I was just
does
thinking that.
does not realize what he's doing sometimes, I think. He does not realize how big of a motherfucker he is.
You're surprised Patterson wasn't murdered, a sex offender? Well, I think he was in like protective custody, so that's probably why.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
not only
they
was he a sex offender, but he was also an ex cop. So between those two things, yeah, I would think he would have been segregated.
Oh God, he was probably in like segregation units or placed among like the non-violent offenders.
Yeah, I would think so. The rabbi was the most dangerous, like a Tasmanian devil loose in the kitchen. Yeah. I don't think Chris was that worried about the rabbi coming after him. Although
God,
he did
the
get
most
security out
dangerous,
quick.
the most dangerous pedo, like if we're talking like towards children, would have to be the one that I refer to as a Goomba. I can't think of his name, the short one. He's short and he's squatty.
Oh, you talk about
He's like,
Westerbeck.
yeah, Westerbeck, because he had assaulted 2 other kids before getting caught.
Right. And well, there's also Thomas Bodner. Thomas Bodner, in my opinion, is the biggest piece of shit from that show. Thomas Bodner is like the one that I'm gonna be very excited the day he dies. Thomas Bodner molested an entire family of kids, including one kid with special needs.
Or the one that sexually assaulted his own children, but also let his uncle and his dad or his brother and his father actually assault his children too. That one's pretty fucking dangerous. Older guy that passed away.
Yeah, I think it was that hamburger you're referring to.
Yeah, hamburger.
Hamburger. Please be respectful.
Hamburger. Yeah, I can't say his name right. I just call him Hamburger.
No, that's the bub, man. That's the bub. Don't disrespect the bub.
And he, let's see, like the most dangerous one, or who I could have deemed most dangerous, would have either been Lurch or the guy who did bodybuilding.
Oh, yeah.
But he was like really cool about it. Like he just did not give.
When am I going to be on TV?
Yeah, he just didn't give a shit. Like he did not give Chris anything to go with.
No.
Besides that stupid line, he spells genius wrong.
Yeah, lover man, genius. For me, the most dangerous guy from that show, I guess we kind of morphed into a different topic, but that's okay. For me, the most dangerous guy on that show was that, what's his name? Todd Spikes or Tom Spikes? I think it's Todd Spikes. He was the one who had the like full fucking rape kit. That's a guy who deserves a lot more fucking attention from all of us. I should start doing more fucking videos on him because he was, first of all, he got off because he was a former cop, so he got off, and he had like a full like fucking legit rape kit in his trunk.
Like if we're talking like
and
new
he traveled
school,
nearly 600 miles. You're right, Shin.
Yeah, new school him, but D-Mac, I think D-Mac wanted to like mutilate that girl.
Oh yeah, D-Mac definitely. D-Mac doesn't get like the credit, or not credit, but D-Mac is a real fucking hunk of shit. D-Mac is a real piece of shit. If you read that chat log, you'd see.
I read it. I've been listening to Andrew read it because I tried to go through it. I tried. I got about 7-10 pages in, and I started feeling like sick.
Yeah.
So I have to like have Andrew read it.
It's pretty vile.
As like a wall in between me and the freaking chat log because it's just so bad. Like the social security number question freaks me out. Like, what was he really going to do with that social security number?
DiGiorno is here. What's going on, DiGiorno? I hope I'm saying that right. Baked Salmon's bringing up Dark Hero. Dark Hero. Dark
Hero schizophrenic.
Yeah, you could definitely see him like going ape shit and going crazy. So yeah, he's definitely up there.
Yeah, Dark Hero was schizophrenic, but I believe his chat log was fairly short.
Yeah, it was, but you're talking about just in terms of like these predators in who's the more dangerous of them all. Dark Hero.
I believe Lorne is bipolar, like severe bipolar. Like he has his manics, his lows, and then his valleys where he's just fine.
Mm-hmm.
But like I believe that he is severely bipolar and has never been diagnosed.
Yeah, possibly.
Because
I don't know how he could avoid being diagnosed for so long. He's been in fucking therapy for 10 years or something like that.
Because no, he only had to do a few months, I believe.
He had to do it the whole time he was in prison.
Yeah, he had to do it the whole time he was in prison, but also he had to do it a few months after per his parole. But a lot of times, most of those psychiatrists just don't care. They're not there because they they're paid by the state, by themselves. They're paid by the state, so they get a state salary regardless of how long they spend with a sick son of a bitch like Lorne.
Yeah. DiGiorno says he was persistent as hell about mailing those panties. He sure the fuck was, wasn't he? Did you
God,
did
like
you mail
that.
them yet, Laura? I'm waiting
That
by my mailbox.
But you know, that's probably part of the reason. And also, it's not been until more recently that a lot of psychologists are forthcoming with being able to comfortably diagnose people here in the South.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know where he was located, if he was located in Bowling Green for the most part and then moved back up to Maine after he got out.
Well, I think when he got out, he went right back to Maine.
Okay, so yeah, here in the South, most people don't believe in people being crazy. Like they don't. There's always something wrong with them. Like it's the Bible Belt still.
Yeah, right.
So a lot of people just don't take mental health seriously as they should. Even like psychologists, they'll be like, "Well, pray about it," and they don't ever fix the person in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So that could possibly be part of the reason he's never been diagnosed, was because no one's ever given a shit well enough or given a shit enough to fully diagnose him. But
probably
like
not.
just the fact that he goes from screaming to crying to laughing in one phone call in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It just points towards him being bipolar.
D-Mac was going to kidnap the decoy and hide her in his other bedroom. Yeah, D-Mac is fucked up, man. D-Mac is fucked up.
Like, good old C-Chan needs to be reevaluated. I don't know if he's actually autistic or if he just has Asperger's.
Yeah,
because he seems to not carry any of the traits that an autistic person would. He seems to carry more of the Asperger's family.
Yeah, see, honestly, I don't know enough about either to speak intelligently about it. But I mean,
what'd you say? Sorry,
I said that I don't know enough about either to be able to speak intelligently about it. But again, I mean, Chris Chan does have some kind of he has a diagnosed mental illness or
yeah, but then again, it was back in those days, from what I was been told, everyone who had a few there was no Asperger's until fairly recently.
Well,
for most people,
Chris is in his mid-30s right now, right?
Correct.
Okay.
He's only a few years older than me. But talking diagnosis-wise, no one was really ever diagnosed with Asperger's. It was a thing, but if you leaned more towards autism, even on the Asperger's syndrome, they would just be like, "Oh, you got autism."
Mm-hmm.
There have been people who were misdiagnosed until their 40s or 50s.
Yeah, so it's possible. It's possible. So you're saying it's possible that Chris has been misdiagnosed all this time?
Misdiagnosed, yes. I believe it would possibly be very, very possible. It's a big possibility. There just wasn't enough information for a long time as to this is what this family group does more than this one.
So, okay, getting back to the Chris Lorne stuff, what other categories do we have? Let's see. Who do you think is the better the better YouTuber? I'm going with Chris Chan.
I mean, at least Chris puts out frequent content.
Yeah.
Lawrence was very splotty, I should say.
Yeah, and Chris is.
You gonna take a nap?
as weird as it is to say that Sonichu is somewhat original, at least it's it's kind of original. Lorne's just like he's singing songs that other people fucking sung, and then he's doing cooking shows that like people have told him, like I'm sure Ramona is the one who told him how
it
to
was
do all this
Ramona
stuff.
because she's vegan. That she was telling him to make vegan food. She was his vegan coach.
At least like Chris keeps his videos at a good length. Lorne had those videos. You remember that? I don't know if you remember the Lorne had a video of him driving in the snow. That was like 30 minutes of nothingness.
Charge my phone. You want to come in here?
And
so speaking to someone in my house.
Oh, that's okay. So I think but his content is a little bit more high quality. I'd have to go with Chris on that.
Chris uploaded good lengths, better quality than Lorne, because like all you stare at that entire video of him driving is just snow. I guess he wanted all of us to see the white stuff coming out.
That's it. That's exactly what it was. There was a lot of white stuff. Rowdy says neither. Okay, yeah, neither one of them produce good content. I'm just saying who is better.
Like if you had to pick between the two, this is really big. Would you rather?
Yeah, exactly.
Don't get me wrong. I would much rather, go watch a decent YouTuber, Christian, but once you fall in a rabbit hole, you just fall.
Right. Yeah. No, I definitely rather watch basically anybody else but those two. But if I
would much rather go watch paint dry than those two.
Yeah, but at least Chris keeps. Although Chris's newest videos are they're just basically begging videos. So
yeah,
that gap is starting to like tighten a little bit more. Chris needs to get on the stick and start producing more quality content.
Yeah, there were. Because I don't think Lorne's ever come up with anything in his entire life besides those bullshits of why he did what he did and the whole Bunky story.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Neither one of them are exactly. They're not exactly setting the world up. They're no Mr. GG. They're not exactly putting a lot of effort into their videos.
Yeah, but even with Chris and his shitty little camera, the little PlayStation Eye, he was trying. Lorne was just throwing his window and letting us watch snow.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, Lorne was putting absolutely no effort into his videos at all.
Oh yeah, definitely not. He was.
Ooh. Here's a good question. Who will go to jail next, Chris or Lorne, and what will they go to jail for? That's a very good question.
If Lorne's parole officer gets off their ass and actually goes to check Lorne's house, I would imagine he would.
Yeah, but Chris doesn't have like. Chris gets in these fucking Chris does this shit that like he doesn't realize it's like assault, like the too many games breakdown.
Yeah, or like macing the GameStop employee.
Right.
Which I have a friend who actually was at too many games during that time.
Really?
And he just did not know. I was talking to him one night. He was like, I was.
Yeah, my money would definitely be on my money would be on Chris probably going to jail first. Not that I don't think Lorne would, because Lorne.
Yeah, Chris.
Oh shit! Hey Libby, you turned 50 today. Yeah. Hold on, Lauren's got to sing happy birthday to Libby. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. There you go, Libby. Happy birthday.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for that. I my birthday isn't until the end of the year, so
You just let me know. Lauren will be happy to sing to you.
I'll let you call me on my birthday. I was born December 31st, so
Nice. December 1st here.
31st.
No, I'm talking about me. I was born December 1st.
We can celebrate together. We can knock back a few and talk shit on who's worse again.
There you
Because there'll
go.
probably be more content on both by then.
I would hope so. That's what we need. Well, we're still getting this steady stream of Chris Chan content. We're not getting it from Lorne as much.
Kind of steadily. We're still kind of getting the Lorne content. It's just now more through Lauren Cornville and Ramona than actually him.
Yeah. I hope one day that we could a bracelet would be awesome. I'll go to Walmart right now and get you a bracelet. But I'm not bringing any pita.
We could fund me page for like the week or like a few days during December. Go up and like visit Lauren together.
Hell yeah.
Bring him a beer.
Some mac and cheese. So there's another year without child abuse.
Yeah, we'll bring him some mac and cheese and some meatballs.
Yeah, there you go. Well, happy birthday, Libby. Thank you for coming by on your birthday. You're so precious.
No, but seriously, like, who has the worst excuse out of both of them? Lauren or Chris? Because Chris's is, well, it's the trolls, and Lauren's is, it's the trolls, and my brothers and sisters didn't give me macaroni and cheese and meatballs when I did stuff on their house.
Oh, it's Lauren. Honestly, if I had to deal with trolls like Chris Chan did, I'd fucking lose it too. But like Lauren with his meatballs and mac and cheese and all this bullshit. No, Lauren has the. I don't know how we're gonna classify this as what's the better excuse or what's the worst excuse. But if it's
the worst,
it's Lauren.
Who? Yeah. Well, I mean, when you think about it, oh, I maced a GameStop employee because of the trolls. Oh, I tried to fuck a kid because I wasn't getting meatballs and macaroni and cheese. Or when he's abusing Ramona, him complaining, oh, it's the goddamn trolls or something. Like he says something about the people on the internet.
Yeah. The internet's caused him. Well, the internet has caused them both a world of hurt. That's for sure.
Well, one of them deserves it.
Yes, Lauren definitely deserves it.
Like, when you think about the long-term effects of sexual assault on a small child, Lauren deserves every single thing that he is getting to the day he dies. Because that's what he would have done to a child. He would have fucked them up for life.
Mike, you're asking who Chris Chan is? You don't know who Chris Chan is? It's a rabbit hole you probably don't want to get into, Mike, if you don't know who he is.
And like when you start to think about Chris Chan, all the shit that he really does, like the fact that apparently part of the reason that he got let go from or was banned from campus for a year was because he was harassing females who would tell him no. Like when he would try to walk up to them, they would tell him, fuck off, piss off,
right,
leave me the fuck alone, whatever. And he would harass them, and he would apparently get like handsy. I don't know.
Well,
like he would try and like touch them, and they wouldn't. Yeah,
that's what he did at too many games.
And that's part of the reason. Yeah, the reason why Dean stepped in and was like, "Hey, you can't be doing this. on campus took a sign. Well, he continued harassing females. Like, I know my community college down here, you can have
LP, you say he doesn't understand. You don't.
signs up. They don't care. You don't.
Who doesn't understand? Who doesn't understand, LP? You think Chris doesn't understand? I think Chris understands a lot more than we think he does. Chris is 2chan.
Oh, there's a tornado.
Oh, you're breaking up, Precious. Your cell phone cut. Did you? How many minutes do you get on your card?
I have unlimited.
You must really like me. You want to talk to me that long?
Yeah. No, the reason it was cutting out was because I was getting an emergency alert that we have a tornado warning in our area.
Oh fuck, that's not good. So we should.
When you live in the South, you just, if the sirens aren't going off, if the sirens are going off, you still don't care.
All right. Well, we'll probably be
you know
wrapping
what you
up
get
soon.
into after a few.
We're probably about to wrap up.
It's fine as long as basically there's around here we're the type of people to go sit on our front porch and watch the tornado go through our neighborhood.
Jesus Christ!
It rarely ever touches down in our area, but when it does, it destroys the other part of town and not our part. Wow, so we just go sit out on our front porch and watch it. Because that's the people in the South for you.
I guess that's better than TV. So okay. Any final thoughts or final questions that you have? And yeah, later on, we still don't know if we're going to be on Mike's channel or if we're going to be on my channel, but we're going to be doing the Jim Roush phone call. That's a fucked up phone call. For those of you who didn't hear it, it's going to be you're going to enjoy that. Thank you so much, Trent. Appreciate that. No, Mike Pence, LP. Thank you, Libby. Love you too, Precious.
Oh, anyway,
there
sorry.
She is.
My cod tried to run out. Sorry.
So, any
Mom and Dad were complaining that I was talking too long.
Aw, you don't have to be sorry. So, any final thoughts there, Kennedy?
Oh God, they're both massive losers.
Yeah, I think we could safely say that both Lorne and Christiane are big fucking pieces of shit. But who is who is overall worse? Who's overall worse to you, Kennedy?
It would probably, considering Christiane hasn't tried to rape a child yet, Lorne.
Yes, I'm gonna go with Lorne too.
Well, I mean, technically he tried to fuck a 13-year-old, but he didn't know they were 13.
Yeah, well, yeah, that you're talking about the blue spike thing, yeah.
The Julie thing, Julie.
Right. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he didn't know though. Lorne knew perfectly well, and
yeah, Lorne knew.
Was actually kind of excited about it. So
oh, yeah.
What do you guys think? You guys team Chan or team Lorne?
Why do you think that was? Do you think Lorne just went after someone younger because he thought that he was more superior in an intellectual way to them, so he could easily manipulate her into having sex?
I think that was part of it, yeah.
Or was it just because we know he talked to Kimmy Coco, We know he talked to Disney Girl, and then we
Yes.
know he talked to
Kayla.
Kayla, which yeah, like was it that he just really wanted to get his dick wet at least once in
M-
his life?
Maybe. I always kind of thought of this as a it was more of an opportunity than he was actually trying to seek out a 13-year-old. But at the same time, once he found out she was 13, it didn't exactly scare him off, which it should have.
Right? Like,
So it could go either way.
yeah, like I don't know if it just he wanted someone that he wanted just to be barefoot and pregnant and just flat out stupid, which why would you go after two doctor's child anyway? Is beyond me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like a lot of people believe that Kayla had a disability of sorts.
Really? I've never heard that. I always just thought, she's just 13.
Yeah, a lot of people believe that she was like mentally disabled in a way, and no one, and that it made it worse because Lorne was basically preying on a child that doesn't use words that a normal
Yeah,
13-year-old would use.
true.
Like my sister's 11, and, and she uses more mature words than what Kayla used. I did at that age too. So just based off of like words and descriptions she gives. Like when she told, like when supposedly she told Derek, because you're an ass, like I just could not see a 13-year-old saying that in that way. Like if at 13 a guy were like, "Why didn't you talk to me?" I'd be like, "Because you're a jackass, not
Yeah.
just because you're an ass." I would have said jackass. I would have just not said ass
So
and stuff like that. Like just the way he
most of the
speak throughout the entire chat.
most of the people in the chat seem to be Team Lorne. So I think we're all in lockstep here. Although we are all Lornographers. We're not all Christorians. So
Yeah,
we're always going to be partial to
I
Lorne.
mean, yeah, a lot of people would probably have to go down that rabbit hole, which, I mean, go for it. There's an entire Wikipedia page on and links and links and links of stuff. I mean, Chris did want to basically mentally control a woman too. He wanted a girlfriend.
Yeah.
So they're both evil in that sense. One was just trying to go after a 13-year-old, and one was just not opposed to brainwashing and torture, apparently.
You're right. Yeah. So I think we can all agree that Lorne is worse. So I guess I'll be streaming soon with Mike on this channel. If anything changes, keep an eye on his channel. But I think we're gonna probably try to do it on here. We're gonna be listening to some Jim Roush. So if you guys want to come back a little bit
Oh
later,
God.
yeah, the
I always forget that Jim Roush is like fucking hilarious
He's-
with his stories.
he's the great. Jim Roush is the greatest. I fucking hate
Jim Roush is like, you can smell the alcohol on interview.
Yeah, right. So we're gonna
Like, I don't know if he drove drunk or what, how far away from he was from that house, but
Yeah, I think that's what happened. I think he sobered up by the time he got to Kentucky. But
he's still pretty wasted in the interview.
oh yeah, he's totally fucked up in that interview. Yeah, I don't know how he didn't get
So
it.
he had like make a DUI. Yeah, that's still what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, I don't know
He
how.
must be one hell of a driver drunk.
Well, he's a very good driver. You'll hear that in the call. He mentions he's a damn good driver. All
He
right.
didn't.
Oop, you broke up again, Precious.
I said into a rural house or house in the rain.
All right. Well, you broke up again, but we're about to wrap it up anyway. So, like I said, if you guys want to hear some Jim Roush, stick on this channel or keep an eye on Mike Pence's channel. It'll be on one or the other. It's probably going to be on this one, though. And Kennady, thank you so very much. We've got to do this again sometime.
Thank you so much. We do have to do this again. Just hit me whenever you want to. You got my email?
I do. We'll badmouth.
You can text me later.
We'll badmouth these two pieces of shit again sometime.
I'll leave my cam on.
Oh, thanks, precious.
What?
Yeah, we'll definitely have to badmouth these two fuckers again sometime.
Oh yeah, we'll have to do more homework next time and just come back with like examples of everything.
Yeah, I get easily distracted in live stream, so I do apologize for that.
It's okay. I'm pretty bad about getting distracted in conversation too.
So
at least this one was pretty fun, and we kept each other laughing. So
yeah, it was great. It was great.
That's always nice.
Thank you so much, Kennady, and thank you all for showing up, man.
On.
Okay, guys. I will. What's going to happen, Trent, is I'm going to stop the stream. It won't be on. We won't be on for until a little bit later. I'm not going to be right back on, but just keep an eye on this channel. And Kennady, good to talk to you, and I am out of here.
Yes. Good to talk to you.
Bye, my precious princesses.
I'm sorry I not want to participate with me today.